The roaring explosion thunders behind us as I just barely make it through the doorway of the control room. It had been a touch-and-go situation of trying to perfectly time the giant death ray's apparent rhythm. Nevertheless, we're alive and well. I want to go home. Wait, more like I want to go home. At least physically. I gingerly readjust my grip on my passenger, noting the way that tight grip is around my back. It's rather interesting to feel their skin, scales, briefly brush against the back of my head. She feels cool, not cold, just cool. In a different time and place, I wish I could really sit down and figure out the finer details of their anatomy. For now, we both need to get to safety and alert the emergency response teams to what's going on. As we walk up the gantry, an explosion rocks from behind the glass viewing window, sending thousands of shards onto the wall before us. I cringe and gawk as we pass through the ruined, burning corridors of the supporting wings. Dozens of machines spark and burn, liquids spilling out of the cooling channels like a stream. The machinery hangs precariously from the ceiling, almost as if it were waiting to fall on something. Yada! Haiga! It sounds like someone choking on something. Oh, I don't know what this is. I think this is not a bodycount. This is like someone suffering the, because at some point you start seeing the head crabs in like zombies. All I can see is the shadows of what appears to be a person flailing around before they collapse into the flames. My passenger gasps, obviously seeing what I just seen. Can't help but feel an odd sense of gloom for the creature on my back. She really is as young as I think she is. There's no way in any universe that she should be seeing such carnage. Honestly, I am pretty sure I'm not supposed to either. I'm supposed to be behind a safety wall! Oh, this is too ominous. I think trying fake voices is workable. We can work with this. Swallowing the growing pit of my stomach, I'll start looking around for another path, the flames having blocked my way to the elevator. Warning. Anomalous energy field detected. A noise and flash similar to earlier explosions, explodes behind me, causing me to quickly pivot on my heels. There, resting on the floor, is the same kind of creature that had teleported into the isolation chamber that Kleiner had been attracted to. It's one of those weird crab things, my quiet passenger points out. Crab thing seems to be a rather accurate abbreviation of the creature. Two of its watch starts to slowly waddle towards us, showing two legs raising up into the air. The first watch it curiously as it gets closer and closer. I wonder if it's also some kind of It's like a little more of a screeching sound, though. I don't even know, man. With a resounding cry, the creature rears onto its hind legs and throws itself high into the air, directly towards me. Flashes of painful games of high school dodgeball and hazardous training course certification test ring in my mind, causing me to flinch and twist my body to the side. It's barely enough. Beep, beep. Minor laceration detected. Beep, beep. I hiss and grit my teeth as the crab barely nicks my arm. It's now known to me talons slice against the polarized impact shielding of the suit, overwhelming it and tearing through a small section. The impact sends it tumbling through the air like that of a new skydiving newborn baby. Right into the roaring fire next to us. Immediately starts squawking in pain, writhing and wriggling through the flames until it stops moving altogether. The smell of burning flesh wafts up to my nose, eliciting a prompt retreat to the other side of the room to get away from the smell. I'd cover my nose while my hands were busy carrying my passenger. I'll remind you, has been rather quiet about this whole encounter. Is there nothing here that won't try to kill me? Scratch that. Although, I'm really starting to wonder the same. Gordon, at least I think that's the guy's name, carefully walks to a pair of half-working doors, leading us straight into a room filled to the brim with exploding science stuff, fire, and red laser beams of death. Perfect! My earlier question is really starting to itch at my brain again. I choke out a short cry as what looks like something you'd find out of a horror show crawls past the burning and screaming in some twisted voice. It doesn't even look human, just a half-burning charred torso with something on its head. I appreciate that she's noticing different things. There's little time to process everything as the human suddenly starts playing limbo with a giant deadly laser beam. Oh, this is someone else, I think. Is it? I desperately want to call out the maniac for what he's doing, but I'm too occupied with not trying to have my own head cut off. The beams get a little too close for comfort. It's deadly heat radiating range from the top of my head. I thought you were cold-blooded. Don't appreciate the warming laser beam. A choked yelp bumbles out of me as the glass is wearing a weirdo narrowly avoid and exploding whatever it is in front of us. Like the one behind us, a giant laser death beam shoots out and slowly begins tracing along the floor. Why did you build this place like this? My eyes snap shut as I press myself as tightly as I can against Gorden. By now, my arms and thighs are starting to burn, even with the kelp. But the adrenaline of the fact that there's a pretty serious chance I may get sliced in two kind of overrides the pain. Please, someone help me! Slowly, I crack my eyes open, noticing we're surprisingly well lit part of the hallway now. The human breath comes in quick, sharp bursts. His spectacled gaze remains fixed before us. I have to say, there's something about... Like, I understand that Gordon Freeman's a bit of an action hero in Half-Life, but I feel like his character should fundamentally change now that he's responsible for a child, you know? The door locks shut by the looks of it. Gordon moves closer to it, waving a hand out. Nope, yeah, we're stuck. Hey, put me down, I huskily order. Already I can feel my throat starting to get dry from all the yelling and talking. You haven't drunk much, and it's pretty hot with all those laser beams. Gingerly, the orange, suit-wearing human lowers me to the ground before turning back to the door. Probably trying to figure out a way from it by the looks of his face. Quietly, I look around the tiny part of the hallway we're in. Other than a pair of storage crates and a small red toolbox, it's pretty sparse. Distant alarms and burning flames crackle down the space, flashes of red and orange glowing around the corner. Subconsciously, my eyes land on the thing not too far from me, or rather, what used to be someone. His eyes are staring right at me. Ah! I scramble backwards as fast as I could, the human's gaze piercing through my very soul. My back slams into a corner. There's nowhere left for me to go. All I can do is be stared down by a dead guy. A bloodied and still sizzling form of some helmet-wearing human in blue uniform lay before me on the ground, unmoving, his body sliced clean in two. The dead guy sliced in half by whatever science place turned killing ground. And I'm stuck here in it. Oh, reality of it finally crashes down on me like a giant pile of bricks. What I thought was some cruel prank or a freak dream has turned into a living nightmare that I'm stuck in. I draw my knees as close as I can to my chest, the pinpricks of fear building in my vision. My stomach twists and turns, the burning mental picture of a scientist dude pounding on a door, being turned red, to red mush flashing in my mind. Another quiet sob chokes out of me as I lean forward and turn myself into a ball of misery, my tail slowly wrapping around myself as everything finally catches up with me. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in some jerk-off's art class. Not whoever the hell this is. Why me? Why after Jesus' name was I just picked up and dumped here like some plaything? My arms pull my leg even closer as a haunting realization hits me. I'm going to die. I'm actually going to die. Suddenly the world feels as if it's too small, moving in all angles to crush me into a cube of sorry meat. I'm going to die. Holy shit. I'm going to die. My breathing snaps to a breakneck pause. Breakneck pause? It feels like there's not enough air in the world to feel my... I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. I'll never see home again. Dying to some sick accident of a hellhole. The ear-splitting noise of metal on metal scratches at my ears like an asshole's claws on a whiteboard. Its horrifying noise gives way to an equally horrifying noise of glass shattering. Instinctively, I unfurl myself, bracing for whatever twisted excuse of my death will be. Instead, all I see is Gorden crouched down near the locked door, with the two glass windows smashed open. I blink in surprise, taken aback as the human sticks a bright red and gray crowbar through the opening, clearing away any sharp bits of glass. Wait, when did he find that? Before I get a chance to ask the question, he turns around and gestures through the open hole before pointing a finger up. You want me to crawl through that? I ask, getting a firm nod from the human, almost as if to confirm my point as he crawls through, his padded boots crushing the glass on the other side. With a few sweeps of his hands, he clears the immediate opposite side of the hole in the door and gestures for me to follow. For a brief moment I hesitate, terrified of what crazy way thing that'll kill me may you lay on the other side. But I don't really have a choice, do I? That's the whole running sick gag in this place. You go ahead, you die. You stay where you are, you die. Only hope is that you get lucky and find a way out. I stare at Gorden for a second longer and take a deep breath. Oh my shit, this is actually the most retarded thing I've ever done with my life. Careful of the glass shards, I crawl through the opening. Thankfully, this area doesn't seem to have any immediate risk of killing me, or at least it doesn't now. Dredging up the earlier horror of the guy cut in half, the human in the white lab coat. I'm starting to see a theme here. They slumped over a control panel. Oh, wait. Dredging up the earlier horror of the guy cut in half, a human in a white trench coat. I'm starting to see a theme here. They slumped over a control panel. A large pool of blood runs down his uniform, pooling at his feet. Nearby, a large metal drum has a clear and jagged edge covered in dried fluid. Must take a genius to figure out what happened here. Gorden gets my attention, roughly gesturing that he's ready to pick me up again. Give me a second! I crawl away from the glass and settle onto my butt. Everything hurts! I complain, my claws are going to work on the sore muscles. Clank, clank, clank. Key. Body. My head perks up in the direction of the metal clanging. I listen in, hearing it repeat itself again. This time I can barely make out what sounds like people. People crying for help. Gorden and I's gaze meet. The both of us definitely now hearing the noises. Tightening his grip around the crowbar, he gestures for me to follow. I want to remind the professor that I can't exactly keep pace, but he waits for me to start crawling. Probably still has it in his head that I want to relax for a second. I mean, it's not that he's wrong, it's just, it's the principle. Wait, crap, he's got a crowbar in his hands. There's no way he's gonna carry me around now. How is Gorden carrying around like, he gets an arsenal. How are you like, if you novelize things and you're not gonna go for a strict adaptation, like, you have to consider, how do all the weapons integrate into the narrative, right? Because people want to see that, and it's kind of part of the character to an extent. Oof. This time, I'm more careful about sharp things on the floor. Okay, yeah, she crawls along. Help! The now clear cries of a man stuck inside ring out as I crawl up a ramp. Not exactly sure what I can do, but I can't just let some random person die. Doesn't help that that's probably the elevator we need to use anyways. I think I might just do a replay of Half-Life so that I'm fresh on how this game plays, because I feel like I'm getting lost. Because you remember the big things, but unless you play it a couple of times, you know, you kind of forget all the little in-between parts. At the continued cries, the guy inside, Gorden rushes ahead, hurrying to the call button and pressing it. Thunk. An array of sparks shoots out of the bottom of the elevator. A horrifying metallic groaning noise fills the room. Oh, shit! The man inside cries out. My eyes snap wide open as the car briefly jolts down. Another rain of sparks shooting out. No! No, wait, no. I softly whimper, putting two and two together. What's happening? I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I want to die! I can't believe it. It's the Spider-Man thing. A woman's voice slashes through the silence, seizing my lungs and rooting me to the spot. The cry rings out, and my blood turns to ice, locking every joint in terrified rigor. Get us out of here! Help us! The man calls out, banging inside the elevator. Suddenly, a gloved hand comes into view, Gorden urgently miming for me to step back. You step? You mean move back, buddy. I look up at him, and then down to the crowbar in his hand still. Realizing his plan, I backpedal on my hands and give him some space. With a decent hail, the human raises the tool over his head and swings towards the glass on the door. Clunk, clunk. Help us! Here! Oh, it's like help us somebody, is what he's saying with he body. With a deafening roar of grinding and collapsing metal, the elevator surges down the tracks out of control. I snap my eyes shut and cover my ears as the shrill scream of metallic roaring pierces my drums. You know, thinking about it, Half-Life is, like, very good at establishing that shit's hit the wall. Shit's hit the fan, I guess. Dust and small bits of debris shower me as I stay pressed against the floor. Eventually, as the noise settles, I slowly crack an eye open and unfurl myself. Pieces of glass litter the space around the doors, the impact of the elevator hitting the bottom having shattered the panes. Gorden carefully unfurls himself too, having taken cover by the doors. Are they? I weakly question, hoping that some kind of elevator safety mechanism would have saved them. Mutely, Gorden cranes his neck through the new opening and peers down the shaft for a few seconds. Pulling back, he turns to me with an empathic look on his face. Another dead person? No, two this time. My shoulders clamp down as their deaths pile onto the few I've seen already. Pivoting his crowbar into the partially open, wedging his crowbar between the partially open door, the human grunts and pries them open. What are you doing? We can't go that way. In case you haven't. A scritch catches in the back of my throat. A scritch? Forcing me to clear it as best as I can. Hey! I call out, wanting to crawl over, but being stopped by the minefield of glass sprinkling. I appreciate they were calling this out. Like, I know that's a bit of a... people... Like, I know that the Saw video games aren't good. But I do appreciate the concept of, like, hey, you don't have shoes. And the floor is covered in glass, so... Prying it open, the door finally gives, clearing enough for him to easily walk through and peer into the elevator shaft. His head turns to the left, eyeing something up and down before flicking between me and whatever he's staring at. Human's glove goes up to his beard, scratching it in thought, as he looks over whatever he sees thoughtfully. Just as my frustration on what the hell he's doing starts to get the better of me, he spins around and strides back right past me. Confused, I silently follow his track, watching as he begins digging around in a big pile of supplies and rubble at a machine back where we came from. What are you doing? I call out, carefully crawling over. Seriously, how are we going to get out of here now? My voice betrays my true fear to the man. Feels awful to be so vulnerable, so reliant on others. I appreciate you saying that, lady who's in a wheelchair, because, like, technically that feeling should have been haunting you for most of it, but I guess Wani is about someone who's already emancipated themselves in that regard. But at least I'm in a wheelchair. I could be rolling around on my own accord, not piggyback riding from some mute in a fancy suit. What the fuck is Ziza? Resting on my legs, I watch as Gorden pulls off a panel, starts digging some electrical thing, like somebody looking for their wallet that holds a winning lottery ticket. What is it looking for exactly? Some kind of manual override or whatever? Actually, shouldn't there be an emergency staircase around here somewhere? OSHA demands that you put in something like that at least. Hey, isn't there like a... In a flurry of machine bits and pieces, Gorden yanks out a large bundle of black cable from the machine. Gorden, that's not safe. Spinning around, he holds the cable out to me and points it with a free hand. What? I'm supposed to hold this? His brow furrows as he gives a quick shake of his head. This time he points at himself, then the cable, then at me. All I can do is give the poor guy a confused look. After Jesus, why am I stuck with a mute with a ponytail? That I got a small huff, the human turns around and starts fiddling with the cable. I watch as he throws one loom over his shoulder, then another, slinking over his torso in a big X pattern. He turns to face me, just I'm gesturing at the cable to me. You're joking! He closes his eyes and shakes his head, seemingly as serious as the silence can convey. I put up with the most unimpressed, not into this at all face that I can muster his way. If there was an unhappy meter, be off the charts by now. You're being weirdly quippy in ways that I don't think are like you actually coping, but more like the author being a little sassy. You're turning me into some sort of backpack? Well, as long as it means I get to say Yahoo! Or have like little speech things like rah, 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 rah. Gorden nods, waving his hands about gesturing about how he would have access to his hands without having to worry about me. I can't believe you got fucking kazooied. I can't believe you got kazooied, Olivia. I bury my face into my hands, letting out a low groan frustration. I point out the author's writing is a bit, like the spelling and grammar and the sentence structure is a bit meh. But the fact that they're actually thinking about all these details and how this would impact the flow of things is really nice. This really is the most brain dead thing in my life. Bah, I have a better idea. Fine! Grunt. Beckoning the human over. Not exactly thrilled with the idea of a ride. I'm gonna take you for a ride. All I can do is silently pray that I'll either find a wheelchair or just an office chair to borrow. Either or would be a million times better than limply hanging off some dude's back. Getting into the thing is going to be more humiliating than just being picked up. I have to crawl under some boxes in order for me to easily slide down onto the thing. Gorden silently offers to help, but I swat away his hand. Even if it is on the hard side to climb up after a few huffs and puffs, I'm ready to get oriented. Well, on the plus side, Olivia, as long as you don't take any drinks of water, you can only actually lose weight over the course of this adventure. But I wasn't actually ready to get in. Shit. I slide down into the harness. Although those cables are wrapped in thick rubber, and they give only the bare level of support, causing me to dig into my backside. Your butt! Gorden looks back, concerned drawing on his features. Grimacing, I give a curt nod. I just hope he knows what he's doing. Oh God, I hope we find a wheelchair soon. Hell, I'll even take crutches. Almost immediately, my trust in the human is vaporized as he starts walking towards the elevator shaft. Where are you going? Single finger points up towards the ceiling. Yeah? But how? Human crosses the threshold into the shaft, pivoting to his left. There's a high-reaching red emergency ladder. Oh, that's convenient. Deciding I don't have much to say, I stay as quiet as I can as the human starts climbing out rung by rung. That's not the right rung. That is to ring out an implement. What you're thinking about is just wrong without the W, I think. Hold up. We shall go to Wiktionary. Yeah, that's just the verb. What you're thinking of is just a rung on a ladder. Is without the W. There we go. The crosspiece forming the step of a ladder. A round. Oh, it's sometimes called a round. Apparently, it also is a crosspiece between the legs of a chair. Man, we're learning so much today. Okay, Olivia. Whatever you do, don't look down. Okay, that's really up. Vertical roils in my gut as I stare down at the crumpled ruin of the elevator. Black smoke churns up the shaft and pools thick against the ceiling. The acrid taste of burning metal and something else coats my tongue. Something that kind of tastes like burnt pork chops. Wait. Suddenly feeling stick to my stomach, I spit out in a desperate attempt to get the taste of burning flesh out of my mouth. I want to cover my sensitive snout. However, I force my hands to full. I want to cover my As much as I want to cover my sensitive snout, however, I force my limbs to hold fast and set. My fingers lock onto my lifeline as my tail coils around the cable in a desperate vice. Why not coil around the man? Even with this little backpack setup, I can't exactly trust two metal cables to hold me up. Man, they got some good cables around here. You can even put women in them. If I fall to my death there, I swear I'm going to kick God's ass! Swallowing, I blink, taking one last look down and gazing onto the burning wreck at the bottom of the shaft silently. That could have been me. Gorden freezes on the ladder, both of our heads gazing high into the shaft. Ha! You like that? Someone yells out, his voice and a few more loud noises echoing throughout the shaft. I'm not a genius, but I've seen enough stuff online and on TV to be able to guess that's gunfire. The question is, who the hell would have a gun in a place like this? Gorden starts moving again, legitimately freaking me out that he's moving towards the gunfire. I slap his shoulder to force him to stop and look at me. Are you insane? Don't move towards the maniac with a gun! He rolls his eyes and turns back before climbing again. Did he just ignore me? You motherfucker! I'm not gonna let you walk straight into some freak with a cling. Ah! I clutch the back of my head as something metallic clips the back of it. Nothing too serious, but enough to really hurt. Falling forwards, I close my eyes and try to rub the ache out of the back of my skull. While I'm doing that, I feel myself lurch as Gorden probably gets off the ladder. Gorden? A voice calls out. Gorden! Man, am I glad to see you! As the voice chatters to the pseudo-human, I crack my eyes open and look around. Must have caused likely traumatic brain damage. Small opening where the ladder leads stand out. The hole definitely too small to fit. Wait, what? A small opening where the ladder leads stands out. Okay, so it's covered up. Why are they wearing the science team? Wait, what do you say? Who's they? Oh, he's talking about the zombies. Just like, why are they? Hold on, let's give him some proper voice because I think this guy's gonna get some more lines. Why are they wearing the science team? What is wrong with you? I hiss out, crane my head back around Gordon's shoulder. Are you trying to give me brain damage? The space falls strangely silent. Well, at least more than expected. My eyes snap towards the figure before us, a dark-skinned human in an outfit pretty close to the ones I saw downstairs. His eyes are staring straight at me. The human snaps his eyes open in horrified fear, raising something towards me. A gun. Ah! My head ducks as low as I can, trying to use Gordon as some sort of shield. Judging by the rapid movements of the human wall, he's trying his best to silently communicate something. There's something on your back, the other human shouts out. There's more shuffling from Gordon. Whoa, hold on a second, man. I'm still learning the whole sign language stuff. As my human shield rapidly gestures to the man, there's a confused grunt. Friend? Yeah, friend! I shout out. Urgent not to have one thing kill me. Trying to be some gung-ho human. I'm a friend! Holy crap. It can talk? What the hell even is that? A little frustration from when the other four-eyed human visually dressed me down flares up. I'm not exactly going to peek out with a guy holding a gun. Still, it's starting to get annoying. Has no one around here seriously seen a Saurian before? I hissed, letting a bit of the frustration out. Behind the orange shield of safety, of course. There's a brief stint of silence as I carefully try to pick my next few words. Do you guys always aim guns at everything that moves? Look, whatever you are something I've never seen before. And I don't know if you've seen, but I've had a bit of a bad day. I'm a baryonyx! Even drier throat causing me to croak out the last word. God, I'm thirsty. Just ask if you can find a little water brick. I think there are like little water spouts around the facility, right? Or am I getting mixed up with something else? Yeah? Well, I don't care. My brow furrows with a blatant insult. Chapter Jesus, what an asshole. You're supposed to say I'm valid. Where's your sensitivity training? Excuse me for Excuse me for focusing. I'm trying not to die. The sound of plastic on leather. How the hell would you know what that sounds like? A sound that hopefully means the guns are. Look, my gun's holstered. I'm not. But don't try anything. For a second, I debate if he's telling the truth. And with a soft shuffle, Gordon's head turns back and gives a gentle nod. Despite every bit of me telling me to stay hidden, I take a breath and slowly peek out. The wrong peek. The human's eyes lock onto me, his hands still resting on the holstered gun. For a split second, he obviously debates what to do, narrowing his eyes onto me, but eventually settles for taking what he's got. How'd you end up on Gordon's? So how did you end up on Gordon's back? His scowl spreads on my scowl spreads on my face as I debate even giving the guy. Oh, Jesus Christ, these sentences. My scowl spreads on my face as I debate giving the guy even the time of day with how much of a jerk he's been to me. Like a way more straightforward sentences. My scowl spreads on my face as I debate even. I feel like it's this that throws me up. Because what you're saying is like I debate even so little as giving them the time of day. Like why is the guy this early? As I debate giving even so little as the time of day to the guy. Like there's some glue missing to this. Or just splitting it into multiple sentences. Or using better linking words. However, my human-turned vehicle gesturing towards the man. Once more his gaze narrows, this time on Gordon's hands. Wait, hold on, do that again. This is what I get for not studying ASL more. A flurry of gloved hands flexes about. He's got two. Don't be so fancy with your plurals. Help? The suited human nods his head vigorously. Psh, you and me both, pal. I was actually planning on getting that anyway. Look, follow me and I'll cover you. Don't want to die here alone anyways. Hey, what about... Everyone's eyes snap. In the sound... In the direction of the sound, as a sickly groan bounces down the hallway to our left. A horrifying noise that someone choking on a whole leaf of bread or something. Man, I could go for a whole loaf of bread. There, lumbering out of the flickering darkness, is a bloodied, horrifying thing limping towards us with its arms outstretched. Also, those hands are like super skinny. I hope you pointed out. It's really kind of cool. It's almost like all the flesh went off. Like your fingers are longer than you think. Like your wrist, like most of your palm is just meat, right? If you pull it all away, your bones are very long. Well, not the bones literally, but like the bone structure. It's not hard to notice the horrifying mouth-like gap that stretches down the length of the chest. Dozens of rows looks like teeth sticking out. It extends its hands and claws out towards us. The digits equally bloody and revolting. My fingers almost look like tree branches that are trying to kill you. That's a nice way to put it. Yeah, it's Jesus, this is so bad. Streaks of blood run down a white lab coat, straining it with a mixture of white and red. Yes, that's also the white isn't staining. The white is getting stained. Like this is such a bad sentence. It's not hard to notice the weird crab thing from earlier on top of its head. Oh shit! The whole human was more like, oh shit! The human with a gun shouts out, panic rising in his voice. Swift motion draws the handgun. The air snaps with violence as I feel it in my teeth. I can feel the violence in my teeth. Not just a noise, but a physical blow that hammers against the side of my head. My ears pop painfully as the world instantly goes mute. A long and thin needle of sound drills into my brain. Oh, hey, that's a great way of describing that. I clap my hands over my ears, but the damage is done. I open my mouth to scream, but I can't even hear my own voice over the screaming ring. That's such a bad one. You're screaming with a deafening, ringing, shrill pierces. Oh, you're so doubling up, man. This is like cheddar cheese on cheddar cheese. Through my head as my eyes snap shut and some kind of bullshit mental to make it stop. Gradually, as the noise begins to fade, my ears are still hurting pretty badly. Slowly open my eyes, unfurling from Gordon's back as I get myself ready to give the other human mates a talk down, will potentially make me partially deaf for the rest of my life. At least, until I saw the corpse laid out on the floor. Several dark holes dot the top of the crab thing on top, whole body spasming for a second before going still. And my eyes scan over its features again, its many horrifying details standing out clear as day. It's almost like... Can't think about that right now. You like that, huh? The gunman shouts, standing over the weird creature. With a parting kick to its side, he spins around towards Gorden and I, with a firm look on his face. What the hell are these things? And why are they wearing science team uniforms? Gorden carefully steps closer, trying to be mindful of the fact that I'm still on his back as he bends out to get a better look. Much like before, the same groaning travels down the hallway. My blood freezes. Man, listen, if I ever end up with like big YouTuber money, I'm definitely buying a little sound studio where I can have like boots I can slam on a piece of gravel, right? I would do the radio show thing. It's fun to do. I'm not editing sound effects, man. I'm learning the ways of old. I'm reinventing shit. I'm gonna meet up with people who used to do ancient radio shows, or their dads used to, or are reproducing all those goofy effects. I'm gonna do Star Wars blasters, not with a soundboard, but by holding up to a mic. It's gonna be great. My blood freezes as this time 2 more of the lumbering figures stagger down the dimly lit halls. This time, I really don't want to figure out what those lovely hands of theirs are for. Again, I understand that to some extent she's coping with things, but she also mostly copes with being very angry. So it's kind of weird to have her also be comedic about it. Here comes more of those things. This time I covered my ears, already expecting the dark-skinned human to start shooting the things. Man, it's the first black character in all of Wani. Even with my impromptu hearing protection, I grunt and narrow my eyes, the blast still giving up massive concussive wave that slams in my head like a hammer. In a flurry of gunshots, one of the things falls to the ground with other limbs forward, arms outstretched. A singular gunshot slams into the creature's shoulder as it continues to slowly lumber towards us. A pained groan drones out of the creature as it briefly staggers backwards. The firearm for our sound. Shit, I'm empty. Give me a second. The human begins fumbling with his gun just as the creature starts to make its way towards us again. Every step it takes makes the blood in my veins get colder and colder with fear as the lanky claws reach out toward Gorden and I. Why wouldn't he be reaching out to the guy with a gun? Hurry up! I cry out, turning back to look at the man just as he drops a clip onto the ground in a panic. That's not a clip, that's a magazine! Gorden starts back up, the distance between the creature and us closing at a faster rate as it starts angrily limping faster. Panic rushes through me. I start slapping Gordon's back. Shoot it! Shoot it! Shoot it! A flurry of range red and grey suddenly flashed through the air. Range red? The monster violently recoils backwards as my whole body is harshly thrown to the side. With a quick follow-up, the creature spins around and falls, unmoving. Rally starts to piece itself back together as I get my bearings from the sudden, everything. My own savior heaves several heavy breaths. Man, it is hard to swing when you've got a big lady on your back. Just ask Banjo. His shoulders rising and falling as both of us stare down the dead monster. Man, this is like the beginning of Nuts and Bolts in terms of, like, weight class. I slowly turn my gaze to the back of Gordon's head, realizing what he's done. Hurrah! I flinch as the loud... Oh, it's more like a... Or I flinch as the loud gunshot rings out once more. The ringing comes back in full force, but I have no choice but to grip my teeth and power through it. At this point, all I want to do is get the hell out of here. Holy shit! Mutters the human as he steps next to us. Is that? I crane my neck to see what both him and Gordon are looking at. Laid out on the floor next to one of the weird crab things is the corpse of the monster that Gordon had just laid out. This time with an earlier quiet speed hole. A weird way to describe a bullet hole. Hold up. We need some music to kind of break it up a little. My eyes subconsciously lock onto the body next to the crab as my whole body goes rigid. Shit, the man swears, walking forwards and kneeling down next to the corpse as my eyes drift over it. My stomach twists as bile threatens to spill out. Now with the crab thing removed from the top, it's clear as there was under it. A person, or what's left of one. The remains of a human man's face have been horrifyingly transformed and morphed, much like the rest of the body. His skin is pale, his facial features malformed and freakish. Not to mention the blood. So much blood! My eyes flicker between the small crab thing on the floor and the body next to it. The memory of our early encounters, one flashing in my mind. It's some kind of freak zombie! The human comments as he rises to his feet. This isn't good, he turns back to us. Look, we need to get moving, now! I have to get to the main security station in the lobby and radio for help. Because this, he waves down towards the corpse, this is a bit above my paycheck. Gorden nods, gesturing for the man to lead the way. With a nod, both of them start walking down the darkened hallway. Suddenly, I find myself subconsciously staring at the zombified human's remains. He still has a name tag on him. He was a person. Was he alive or dead when Gorden killed him? I can't find much time to think about it. Both humans start their trek forward, leaving the corpse of the man just laying there. This shouldn't mean this much to me. The three of us make our way through the tall hallways. We carefully step past several bloodied and malformed bodies, several more zombies. A roller board with cheesy motivational posters stays stuck on a slide about safety. A roller board. How the fuck do you know what that is? Toting the facility's record of injury-free days. Guess that will need to be changed. Rolling my eyes, I fix my back on the human with the gun taking the lead. It suddenly dawns on me that broad yellow letter spelling out security around his back. Now that I think about it, he basically looks like some kind of budget cop with his vest and gun. That certainly would explain a lot. I want to ask him more about it, but the desert in my throat's making it impossible to say anything. My desert of a throat will basically make saying anything serious impossible. Wait, is that a bottle of water in his back pocket? I need it. Sure enough, in some kind of either serious plot convenience or divine intervention, there's a small bottle of water jutting out of the rear pocket of the guard's pants. Surely you guys have a fucking toilet around here somewhere. Also, the man is given hydration on the job, so he doesn't have to leave his post that often. That's why he has that. Why are you so surprised to see that a guy who has to guard a location is given an incentive not to leave his location? Tapping Gordon's shoulder, I point to the bottle and hoarsely whisper, "Water, please! I need it!" It takes the human a few seconds to find exactly what I want, but soon enough it gets the guard attention just at the bottle. I like how sassy this guy is. Huh? You need some water? Sure. Knock yourself out. Slipping it out of his pocket, he hands it to Gordon, who passes it to me. I greedily rip off the top and guzzle the entire bottle in one fell swoop. Yeah, help yourself to it all, won't you? The guard gently complains. Ah, I exhale, the soothing moisture flowing down my throat. Rapture Jesus, that's so much better! Yeah, well, happy to be of service. Come on, Gordon. Gordon, why are we giving her my drink? Don't you have a bottle of water? Shouldn't you stay hydrated on the job? Deciding to keep to myself as I watch the two humans venture further into the facility, being careful to check out back every once in a while. It's weird. We're never getting attacked from the back. It's almost like this video game is about moving forwards. My eyes linger every once in a while on a small handful of unmoving corpses, thankfully themselves not zombies. Still, where are all the Saurians? Maybe this is some kind of weird human supremacy group. That explains why everyone acts like they've never seen one before. Wandering out of a small airlock, the guard picks up two red cylindrical items on the floor next to the bloody scientist. Spark and flickering lights illuminate the space, emergency lighting barely giving enough illumination to make out anything but the bare minimum. Papers and debris lay scattered around the hallway, an adjacent glassed-off office not looking any better. At this point, I can't tell if the ringing in my ears is from gunshots or a nearby fire alarm. Not too far ahead lay another bloodied human against the wall, and a giant pool of blood around its body. Jesus, this place is in bad shape. Jesus, this place is in bad shape. The guard softly whimpers, taking a second look around the ruined space, only to jump back slightly as a ventilation grate slips out of the ceiling and smash into several metal pieces. That's video game logic, man. That's so that the prop looks cool. That's not how vents work. I mean, I imagine one could fall apart, but I don't think that metal tears that easily or breaks. Unless it's a very hard metal, I guess, like a brittle. What happened here? I ask, primarily directing my question at Gordon, sort of hoping the guard may know. Oh, the guy downstairs told me that there's some kind of accident with all the fancy science stuff. Oh, beats me, I don't get paid enough to know, the guard quips, standing up from other nearby moving corpse. Damn it, Gordon, I can barely make out anything ahead. Can you use that fancy suit of yours? Gordon, however, doesn't move for a second. Curious, I crane my neck and look at the rather stoic look on his face. Hey! I call out, trying to get his attention. Blinking, he moves on and reaches to his chest. Click! A small yet bright light illuminates the darkened hallway. In the first game, wasn't your light infinite? Because technically speaking, it didn't really fucking matter. Oh, shit! Wait. Oh, shit! There before us is a small group of several zombies, all donning differing outfits. Some look like men, some women. Holy shit! Finally! Equal opportunities apocalypse! Even some security guard zombies notice and start staggering our way. The familiar and icy panic floods my system and locks my muscles into the rigid knots. Well, good that you don't have to fucking walk. Run! Run, please! I cry out, slapping at Gordon's shoulders. There's no way we can take all of them, even when one of us having a gun. Speaking of guns, security car starts letting loose a barrage of bullets, dropping at least one of the zombies before he runs out. Shit, I only have one mag. Hey, I only got one magazine left, he cries out, his own fear seeping into his words. Still, he flicks out the empty one and slaps home a new one. That is so interestingly described for someone who's currently panicking. Suddenly, the room feels like it's closing in around me once more. My ultimate goodbye is only limping towards me. A sudden wave of heat slaps into me. A bright fireball flashing before us, consuming the zombies in a raging inferno. Raising myself from behind Gordon's back where I subconsciously ducked down, I watch amazed as a jet of flame shoots out from a grate on the floor like a water fountain. Like a fire fountain. A cocktail of horrified screams and moans sound from the monsters as they raise their hands above their heads, the flames developing and consuming their very beings. One by one, with a dying gurgle, they fall to the ground until none remain. Soon enough, even the fountains of fire sputter out and die, leaving only the smell of burning flesh hanging in the air, twisting my stomach into a knot. Jesus, I think I just earned myself a promotion, the guard softly quips. Sir, stop taking this seriously. You're literally the one who said I slapped my clip home. Also, glad the guard says magazine instead of clip. I actually would love that if you do stuff like that intentionally. It's always great, He should know this. He gets fired if he doesn't. Listen, Barney, you need to know the difference, okay? I understand it can be difficult. It's a clip if it's for loading, for strip loading. It's a magazine if it goes in all together. And it's considered a cell if it's placed inside the matter conversion unit. You idiot. The guard softly grips walking in and giving one of the burnt corpses a kick. Poor bastards. I really hope they're not alive under those things. With a sigh, he raises his eyes to both of us. You guys okay? Gordon and I gave a small nod, the guard gesturing for us to follow down the hallway as we head deeper into the belly of the beast. As the two humans move forward, let out a shaky breath, brushing. How the hell can you say this? You're literally strapped to one of them. I let out a shaky breath, brushing a bit of hair out of my face. After who knows how many times I've been very close to dying in what feels like such a short period of time, I'm really at the end of my rope. Why the hell am I even here? How did I get here in the first place? Did it have to do with that green portal thing in the room? Why, will anyone even know that I'm missing? I'm actually going to make it out of this alive or I'm going to die here. I appreciate that despite remembering you went through a portal, you're still not, even potentially assuming that you've time or space traveled. Putting down a few more isolated zombies. Ah, damn! Fuck, we're summarizing shit. Hell, damn! The three of us slowly work our way up towards the main lobby of Sector C, as the walls read. We pass a handful of smashed offices and labs, the corners spreading far and wide. Shouldn't you be asking why the fuck this facility's so damn big? What is up with this place? As we enter a large circular room, a massive array of we're at the actual little entry point. A massive array of televisions can be seen hanging from the darkened ceiling. A giant mural with a logo painted over the center, with the words Black Mesa Research Facility. Over the top, it barely illuminated by a single flickering light before it dies in a shower of sparks. That is a massive sentence. It's got to be the name of the place. An old guy downstairs mentioned it too. A few more loud gunshots. The last zombie in the room falls to the ground dead. The security guard seemingly satisfied with his aim. Damn, can't see a thing in here. Reaching down to his belt, the guard pulls out one of the two orange and red tubes he picked up earlier. Why is that not picking up? Dude, I don't like this automated sound, background noise control does. Hold on, I'm gonna look up and see if I can fix this shit. I'm really getting annoyed. I understand, right? Wanting to provide some support to people who are trying to record shit, but fuck, dude, I do not need noise control when I'm recording random shit. Might toy around with this. Voice clarity. Oh, device default effects might be what I'm having issues with. Shh. Oh, I'll figure something out later. Maybe we'll do it on the next one, see how that turns out. I might do that on something where the stakes are a little lower, because I do not want to lose this. Because that might actually be the thing that's causing issues, because this also happens on Discord a lot. Like, I don't know what it is. It doesn't turn on all the time, so it's off, and it cuts off beginning of sentences and stuff. It's really annoying. With a loud yank of a tab at the bottom, a bright red fountain of sparks and light emits from the top of the item. Oh, it's a flare, I mutter. Make a small nod from the guard as he places it, and the space on the desk, being mindful to put the lit one at a safe distance. What? Yep, good to have. He raises his eyes over to Gorden. Look, I'm gonna stay here and call for help. Go check on the tram system. Maybe we can get a ride out of here, he commands, walking up to a large desk and pressing a button on the phone. Hello? Hello? Is anybody out there? As the guard tries to radio for help, Gorden walks over next to him. A gloved hand reaches back to touch my shoulder. What? I question. Watching curiously, he reaches down and pulls up something of the group behind the chair. It's an office chair! He looks back, tilting his head down. Oh, sweet Raptor Jesus, please, you're so muggy! I beg, desperate to get out of this awkward excuse for transportation. Once more doing the weird song and dance, Gorden carefully lets me slither out as I transfer myself to the chair. That's better. Yeah, well, happy or nice and comfy. The guard clears the throat. I'm not exactly happy about, but we still need to find some help. Nodding, Gorden pats his chest and gestures over to the half-open set of massive blast doors. Yeah, you get started on that. I'll see if I can radio someone at least. Radio for help. Help may actually be coming. I may actually get out of this living nightmare alive somehow. A wave of relief hits me like a big old teddy bear. It's hard to put the feeling into words. It's an immense feeling of being nothing like I've ever felt before. I'm gonna live! I'm gonna go home! As Gorden leaves, the security guard walks over to an intercom on the desk and tries to raise someone again. Hello? Hello! This is Jenkins from Sector C, reporting a massive possible code orange situation. How the fuck is this orange? How is this not red? I guess red is like an active aggressive assault, and this is more like random, bioweapons. It's like something he can technically manage. He lets his hand off the button, the light of the phone turning red as it fills the room with static for a few seconds. Narrowing his gaze, he pushes the button again. Hello? Hello? Is anybody out there? Only static fills the room. As the human continues to try and raise someone on the phone, I look around the massive lobby space, noticing something weird about the computers on the desk. Jeez, how old are those things? I quip, pulling myself over to one of the dark and giant CRT monitors. I swear I've seen these in museums before. Dude, there are reasons to use CRTs. I don't think you'd want to use them in a facility like this, which probably has giant magnets, but there are reasons to use different technology than LED screens. What are you talking about? The guard voices up, looking over from the phone. We just had that system installed weeks ago. Damn thing still hasn't been working right. My attention turns to the human and a confused look on my face. Just installed? Man, someone must have been scammed the hell out of these losers if they got the stuff this old. Maybe because it's an isolated facility that lives on the ground. I like isolates a lost society. Oh, I was about to say isolated facility that lives. Oh, buddy. While I rummage on my internal conspiracy theories, the guard continues to try and raise someone on the phone. My worry starts to slip back as time and time again the guy comes up empty with no response. Eventually, he lets out a dejected huff and sets the device down. Damn thing. Phone lines are probably down. Wait, didn't the guy downstairs say something about that? I'll probably have to try the main security help when Gordon's back. I nod, staying silent, fidgeting with my fingers the whole time. However, only a few seconds pass before the guard's attention shifts down to me. You mind me asking you something? Never got a response to it earlier, anything other than help. Sure. How did you end up with Gorden? Not to mention on his back. Are you a kazooie? Is he your banjo? Oh, that's Blastcore. Sorry. Wow, right to the point. I'm not sure. I slowly start, trying to recall the finer details of everything. Listen, I know that I often go with the, all I can remember is that I went to a dark room of my high school to get some stuff for class. But that voice kills me way too quickly, and it's way funnier when the game is trying to be funny. And this ain't it. Ain't even a game. Then there was this weird bright thing, green thing, and then I was in a whole different space. Also, I kind of think this voice actually works for Olivia a little better. Like, it sounds more like a woman at least. Unless like someone who lives in a fantasy setting trying too hard. The human's expression shifts rapidly as I recount my story. A mixture of surprise and confusion dancing on his face like a Jewish Orthodox celebration. Are you telling me that Raptor Jesus failed to... Ugh, listen, we don't need to talk about that right now. Hold up a second. The guard interrupts, holding up both of his hands. The hell you mean you're in high school? How old are you? 18? The man's eyes snap wide open. Jesus, you're just a kid. A green lizardy kid. He steps back, leaning against the ledge of the desk. You mean the edge of the desk? Why would you call it a ledge? That's not right. His hand runs over his bald head. His eyes darting between the room and myself. Okay, so you're a high schooler that somehow got thrown down and you want to go home, right? I mutely nod. Just humor me here. Back home, are there more of like what you are? Saurians. The guard snaps his finger. Oh wait, no, I can imagine that's like a continuation. Saurians. The guard snaps his fingers. You need an uppercase T there because this is a standalone statement. It does not, in fact, connect or continuate that way. Yeah, those. Sorry, whatever. Dude, it's not that hard to say. I raise a brow, wondering what the hell this guy is talking about. I know he freaked out and pulled a gun, but I'm trying to figure out what's so weird about this. Yeah. Here, I can actually show... Holy shit. My phone! In a panicked moment of realization, I hurriedly dig into my hoodie's pocket, desperate to find the plastic brick that a good chunk of my life revolves around. It doesn't come up that much in the game, but I can call someone, let them know. Wait, what are you? My claws latch on to something and yank it out of my pocket. In its grasp is the mobile device I've been looking for. Clicking the button, I resist the urge to scream as the home lights up with an image of Inko's sleeping face on the front. Don't show that to him. Inko will hate you forever. Oh no! Are you telling me that interdimensional guards know about my stupid dopey face when I sleep? Yeah, and a couple of theoretical scientists too. Theoretical scientists! Olivia, I'll never survive this disgrace. My reputation interdimensionally ruined. Olivia, please. I definitely got that one from Psy. But it's a really good voice for when you just want to fuck with Inko. Rapidly swiping up, I navigate to the phone app and dial 911. Wait a minute. Is that... I have no idea. I just think it's very funny. In terms of coincidences, there's absolute silence. Not a ring, not a robot voice telling me the number isn't working, nothing. Pulling the phone back, I check the device. No bars, nothing, nada. Underground, of course there's not going to be a signal. I slumped in my chair with a frustrated grunt, my stupidity ringing even more than usual. Wait, that's a phone? Dropping my gaze from the ceiling, I watch as the guard walks over and eyes the device in my hand. Oh, that doesn't look like one. This time my frustrations get the better of me. Dude, what the hell are you talking about? Guys like you, some secret underground society that has no contact with the above? How do you not know what this is? I drill, raising the phone up to raise my point. Look, lady, like I said, you're nothing like I've ever seen. Excuse me if you've got some weird brick in your hands, and I'll have you know I don't live in those stinking dormitories they provide. I love the idea. He's like, listen, I'll work, but I will take the 5-hour commute over sleeping in the dormitories. 5-hour commute, everyone. Our hero, Jenkins. There are literally billions of Saurians. How have you not heard of us? I'm representing my race now. That's why I'm saying us instead of them. I press, leaning forward in my chair and curling my finger up at the man. Would I say us or them in this context like this? That's a great question. If someone's like, what the hell are you? Have you not heard of them? I feel like I'd go with them because I tend to be a bit more disconnected from the concept, you know? Because there aren't any around. There literally are! I raised my voice, tapping over to my phone to the photo saved in my gallery. Look! There, dead center, is a photo of Damien and Vinny acting like total geeks in front of the TV living room. The guard's eye snaps to the photos. I was taking in all the details. See? Look! There's tons of us! I don't even know what weirder society you live in, but... Oh, shit! The guard shouts. Why does it italicize? I guess that's screaming. Rushing around the desk towards the doorway. I move around the chairs. This guy is like, what the fuck is that TV? Why? What is that flat slab you have in the middle of the room? What is an anime? Please. I'm pretty sure the anime industry hasn't been invented yet. Actually, it was around for a long time. But in America, they would have no clue what the fuck you're talking about, for the most part. A blood-curdling shrill scream caused me to jump in my chair, the two of us looking towards the half-open blast door that Gorden went down. My stomach drops as my mind naturally puts together 2 and 2. It's 4! Oh, shit, the guard shouts, rushing around the desk toward the doorway. I'm moving the chair as much as I can. Without being able to reach the ground with my tail, I'm more or less confined to the space around the table. How? Your tail is A, pretty fucking long, and B, office chairs usually have an open back. What are you talking about? You're just not trying. Setting myself up next to the flare, hold my breath as the guard bends down to look through the opening. Fuck me. The man exhales in a sigh of relief, placing his hand on his chest as he rises to stand and look at me. Oh, he's all right. Not sure where that scream came from, but he's still out there. Relief rushes through me as I sit back in my chair. Wait, did Gorden walk off without us excessively describing it? Hell yeah. Now kiss. Safi, no. Kiss. Give me the scandal. Give me the scandal. I can show Inko. So he's like, Olivia, you cheated on me with an interdimensional guard. You showed how dopey I am. This day can't get any worse. Well, there's the injected babies they gave me. The guard? No, some alien species I forgot the name of. I don't think they told anyone, but it was in the manual somewhere. Was it? I don't know. A breath I didn't know I had was slipping out. Man, I really don't like that sentence. I don't know why. Oh, Raptor, Jesus, thank you. I mutter. I don't know how to react to apparently losing the one guy who seems to know what he's doing around here. Not to mention knowing what may be going on and how to get me back. Olivia, I can't help you. I'm a theoretical scientist. I can only theoretically help you. Shaking my head, I straighten myself back up and look at the guard standing on the far edges of the flare's light. Beyond him lies a dark void that only the faintest light breaking through. Enough light to see a clawed hand reaching through the darkness above the guard's head. Ah! I scream before my throat immediately closes up. I shoot up in my seat and panically point behind the human. He immediately turns around to fuck! The room plunges into nothing but an all-encompassing darkness. Warm, sickly fluid splattering across my face. Oh shit, we're getting music recommendations. Hold up. Hold up. I need to figure out what this music recommendation is. If it's from the soundtrack, I'm just going to pull up the soundtrack. I want to escape Black Mesa as a soundtrack. I should have the soundtrack somewhere. Where is this from? Yeah, I'm not gonna. You can look it up yourself if you want to see what that's all about. I'm gonna see if I can find something. There's a Val theme. Apprehensive. No, that's too short. Oh no, it's this song. Hold up. One moment. It's close. It's close. We'll go with this then. My eye. I forgot the song picks up quickly. My claws shakily go up to my. And I need something that's just spooky. I just need something that's spooky. Hold up. I'm gonna put a pause. Oh, this'll do. This'll do. This'll do. My claws shakily go up to my face to rub the liquid off the side of my face as I stare wide-eyed into the abyss. It's not water. The wet strangled gurgle echoes from the shadows. The familiar cry of the monster now wandering in the void pulls me from my shock. This time there's no Gorden. This time there's no guard. It's only me. Fuck. My claws urgently and blindly feel around for the spare flare that the guard put down. I like that in the next game they have like these glow-in-the-dark little bits on it, so you can always see them. Fingers desperately searched around, knocking over anything that remotely doesn't feel flare-shaped. As I search, the slow shuffle of footsteps echoes throughout the lobby like the dinner bell of my ever-approaching death. Come on, where is it? Where is it? That's it. Gripping onto my lifeline, I pull the tab at the bottom. The zombie is mere inches from me, and on the opposite side of the desk. Ah! I crawl out, falling backwards into the chair. The force overwhelms its bounds, and me sprawling onto the floor. Ah! The pain groan slips out of me. The wind is knocked from my lungs. Realizing I don't have time to writhe in pain as I pick myself up, desperately looking for the monster in the dark. Just a few inches from me lies a flare, its red light illuminating a small part of the room where it's pointed. Perfectly illuminating this hauntingly still guard on the floor. His head turns towards me. Or rather, what's left of it. I don't have even but a second to gawk in horror as the footsteps of the killer begin to echo out once more, its horrible groans and grunts filling the room. My hands struggle for traction as I rush over towards the flare. Grabbing it, I point it towards the sound's direction. Like the light in the school's darkroom, the zombie stands just a few feet from me, this one being a former security guard, muttering to itself in the distorted reversed cadence, sounding like a man trying to speak with a throat full of blood. With a massive gait, it begins to lunge towards me, massive bloodied claws outstretched. It wasn't moaning at me, it was babbling. The sounds were wet and inverted. It was trying to suck those words back into its lungs rather than speak them. Somewhere in that slur of noise, my brain almost recognized the human tongue. Falling onto my butt, I fearfully pressed my... Don't ever describe your butt as a butt when you're scared. That's a comedy word, not a spooked word. Falling onto my ass, or falling onto my rear, or my behind, or falling... just hitting the ground, falling over. I fearfully pushed myself back as far as I can only bump into a trash can after a second or two. I'm trapped in here with a killer zombie? I'm trapped in here with a killer zombie? My already rapid breathing grows faster and faster as the monster gets closer and closer. I feel like you're not really processing the fact that you're in a situation where someone's actually trying to murder you. Like, everything that happened with Mia is one thing. This is active animalistic murder. I hold the flare in some sort of pathetic defense, hoping the light will confuse or scare it. Naturally, of course, it seems completely unbothered as it takes slow step after slow step. The hairs on the back of my neck stand up as the finale of my life seems to come ahead. I'm actually gonna die. Once more, the world feels like it's too small, moving in on all angles to crush me to a cube of saurian meat. I'm gonna die. My breathing stops as my throat all but closes up. Feels like there's enough air in the world to fill my lungs. I'm gonna die. The beast is now but mere feet away from me, raising its hand above its head, poised to ring down and slash me open like an animal. I don't want to die! Flare leaves my hand before I know it. It erupts into a pillar of crimson flame, the phosphorus catching its bloodied clothing, which is wet and shouldn't burn as easily. The creature doesn't charge. It stands there silhouetted against the red glare in the middle of the room, beating its chest with frantic jerky motions. It's mimicking. Its screams are high and thin, repeating that same warble syllable over again. Put it out! It pirouettes wildly, arms windmilling above its head. As the flame engulfs it, the guttural barking vanishes. In its place rises a thin, terrifyingly human scream. It doesn't sound like a zombie anymore. It sounded like a man burning to death. I scrambled backward just in time as it collapsed onto the ground into a pile in front of me. My His life is fading. The screams fade before the fire finally consumes it. All I can hear is the pounding of my heart in my ears. It's a deafening thump, like a drum's waves pounding against the walls of an orchestra, of a concert hall. Orchestra is the group, not the space. My chest heaves up and down, lungs desperately scavenging for any oxygen that it can get. Really, we're doing the R2D2 thing of giving her a body count. Like, I get this is probably like the least offensive body count you can give her. I mean, it depends on what you want to do. Like, if you want Olivia to pick up the action hero tones that Gordon Freeman naturally just gets by virtue of how the plot works, fair. And I guess this is like the easiest way to give her something, given she's just a kid. But hey, I just killed something. I just killed a monster. I would love it if she said I killed something, and then she stops, and then she clarifies a monster as she's trying to cover up the fact that she might have killed a person. You know, I would like that. It's a little out of place for the genre, though, but it's just what I like to do with stuff like this. As I desperately fought to breathe, something hit me. My mind tried to reject it, to categorize it as beastly noise, but the sudden realization settled in my gut and put two and two together. It was inside of a monster hurting. It was a man of, hell yeah, baby, we're doing it! People like to pretend that Half-Life is all like action schlock, but it does have this strong element of like, this shit's spooky, man. Sound of man screaming for the pain to stop. Did I just kill someone? Hell, author man, can I just shake your hand, please? For so often in these fucking fics, right? I'm like, you know, it'd be really fucking cool, and sometimes it follows up, but it never like goes anywhere with it, and you're like, oh, we're going there, huh? We're plunging our arm into this syringe-filled toilet. Get out of here, Jigsaw, please. My chest clutches. No, you clutch your chest. I clutch my chest to the rapid sound of metallic footsteps echoing through the lobby, the half-open blast door. Shouldn't you be blinded by this man's flashlight at this point? I could taste relief as the familiar colors of orange and gray slip underneath into the... What? Crowbar still in hand. Part of me wants to rush over and beg him to be thrown onto his back, desperate for some kind of safety. Part of me wants to curl up on the floor and fall asleep, hoping I'll wake up for this nightmare. A gentle bootfall step over to me. Still taking in heavy breaths, I wordlessly look at the bespectacled man, taking the worried look on his face. You're taking a lot of stuff. His eyes dance around the scenes, standing on the slain guard for who's like the world's longest second. A quiet huff from the remaining human's nostrils as before he turns back to me. Kneeling down, Gordon reaches out a gloved hand to me, an empathic look drawing across his features. My eyes look into the gloved hand as my frazzled brain tries to make sense of what to do. Shouldn't you be a little more concerned about the concept that Gordon might think you're a murderer? Like, Gordon, for all, like, he might have heard the screaming, but I feel like, shouldn't Olivia at the very least be concerned that, what does Gordon think about what I did, right? Like, so many fic authors are just kind of ignorant to the fact that you can just have I know I often complain about Thinko, but this is, having a character's thoughts legitimately results in an interesting new situation, is you can have them doubt themselves, and doubt the situation, and doubt the honesty of others. I know that Gordon's POV means you can't really play off of that too well, but... However, you could do it from both sides. So you have Gordon constantly worrying, like, Olivia had to murder someone. That's a traumatic experience, and I feel very bad for her. And in the meantime, Olivia's like, I can't believe I murdered someone. Gordon must think I'm terrible, that I'm a monster. And you have that contrast, and they just can't properly communicate because Gordon's mute, and she isn't kind of an idiot. Two of us could only share a short break before I'm hoisted up onto Gordon's back saddle. Judging by his game of charades, the tram system wasn't working. It's not that far away from this space. Are we using Black Mesa for this? Meaning that we had to go the long way around. I don't like Black Mesa. I feel like Black Mesa tries to take the game and it tries to make it a little more, I don't know, that's just something that doesn't work for me. Or at least that's what I thought he meant. My brain is so fried now that I'm simply moving on autopilot. I think the big problem I have with Black Mesa is that it does that thing I don't like where it's, like, I know the original game can feel a bit short, but it does everything it needs to get the job done, whereas Black Mesa inflates a lot of parts. We initially try going around the opposite way to the lobby, but find a large pile of debris blocking the way. Instead, the human backtracks, finding a strangely large ventilation shaft leading somewhere. I question why his first it is to climb inside of a vent, but at this point I'm beyond caring. I just want to go home. I like that. Like, for all the vent things, they're in an underground facility, so it kind of makes sense that the vents are big. I mean, if you're above ground, you could just break holes in walls if you really wanted to. Almost immediately, thick smoke fills my lungs into some sort of server room where things are enveloped in flames. Sparks and jolts of electricity are shooting from the ceiling, sending bits of electrical equipment all over the place. Quickly enough, Gordon takes refuge for both of us in an adjacent windowed-off room. A room with a front view to something I could have easily gone my entire life without seeing. I quickly look away, trying my hardest to ignore the sight and sounds of a small group of zombies devouring the remains of a scientist. Almost as if fate is trying to give me a break, a massive jolt of electricity blows not just the zombies up, but a large enough hole in the wall for Gordon and I to exit. Taking the chance, both of us slip out of the giant fireplace and into the hall that had been blocked off. Naturally, of course, this isn't much better looking. Like this. Gordon and I silently watch as a zombie continuously bangs his head against the glass wall of a nearby office, a large splattering of blood staining the glass. As quiet as can be, the human carefully tiptoes the opposite side of the hallway, being mindful to watch his step. That's it! I've had enough! Hearing an actual person gets my attention, and I crane my neck backwards, watching in silent horror and curiosity as a single scientist takes on a crab monster. With a bold shout, he rips off one of the large monitors and crushes the crab monster under it. For a brief second, I feel happy that at least one person can make it out of this disaster. But first, I realize there's another crab monster behind the monitor that the human failed to see. I won't scream and get his attention, but if I do, I'll alert the monster just a few feet from us. Oh, that's a great way to play off of that. My heart sinks as the monster leaps forward, latching onto the man's head with a muted scream. For a few seconds he struggles to rip it off, but the sharp claws grapple onto his chest. Soon enough, the human collapses on an office chair, limp. I don't have time to feel much of anything as Gordon tiptoes past the window and quickly hurries away from the oblivious zombie. Or more like two lone gunshots ring out from the hallway, prompting Gordon and I to look at each other for a moment. All I can do is nod, the green light to press on. Hopefully we won't have to do any more fighting. As expected, a bloodied zombie slumps against the wall. Nearby, an unmoving, bloodied corpse of a security guard lays face first on the ground. Another death. Another human-turned freak. Hi. I'm I'm not I'm not getting out of here, am I? Gordon's neck immediately cranes back to me, firmly shaking side to side. I'm gonna die here. I'm never gonna go back. I choke out, feeling the reality of the situation crashing down on me once more. This time it's not just the breakdown I had downstairs. This one's more serious. This one's real. It's bad. Put me down! I stutter, desperate to get free of my harness. Human hesitates for a second before walking over to a nearby wooden bench and letting me crawl out awkwardly. Even by the time I'm done, Gordon remains seated, looking down at me as I remain with my back against the wall. I'm just, Alright, words fail to come together in my brain. It's everything. It simply overwhelms me at once. My arms wrap around my chest as I slumped onto my side. After a long minute, I don't move. I just lay there, back pressed against the cold iron wall. My chest heaves in ragged, slow hitches, desperate to pull in air through the lungs that feel like they were burning. The silence is worse than the noise. My brain had nowhere to go but backwards. I looked at my hands. The kitchen soot and dried blood, and none of it was mine. I curled forward before resting against the dirty bench as the dam breaks. It wasn't a dignified weep. It's ugly, heaving sobs that tore out of my chest. Violent, suffocating. I cried for the sound of the man who had screamed as I set him on fire. I cried for the people who have died. I cry because I'll never go home again. I cry because I'm alive. Hell yeah, baby. I mean, again, it's got a lot of repetition and kind of fucks it over. But I like that you're taking the core conceit seriously enough to let it have a little bit of that jus de vivre, as they say. Okay, so yeah, the next chapter starts off with that. I like the pacing on this though. Like as much as it repeats itself and it could really use some trimming down. My problem is not that there are unnecessary scenes. Like everything tries to do something. It is getting a little boring that Olivia keeps having freakouts. Like I get it at this point. We can kind of just assume that Olivia's fucking freaking the fuck out. At some point, you gotta move on from that, buddy. But yeah, I guess we're gonna introduce barnacles because the next chapter has them in the background. Well, so far, this remains one of the better ones, entirely because it's willing to actually do something. We should do something! Should we do something? We should do something! Should we do something? We should do something!